Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Price Targets with your host Bitcoin Jack. What a trippy week. Lots has happened. We've been trying to make sense of it, and so far I think we did quite a good job. We're going to be reviewing a couple of the trades of last week, and what I want to do for BTC is just talk about what I'm expecting for the remainder of this week into next week, low time frame wise, and then I think I can say something about the higher time frames, what I'm expecting. First, I want your attention for Prime XBT. They're making these videos happen. They're sponsoring this content, and if you sign up with the link in the description below, you're gonna be able to get quite a sizey deposit bonus if you use the promo code BitcoinJack in your settings. So thank you, Prime, for sponsoring. And guys, if you enjoy these videos, if you consider go and check out Prime XBT. Let's jump into Bitcoin. First of all, there's a few things to note. We've ran the 2021 low, which is this week here. And obviously we ran all the other lows from, let's see, the last 500 days or so. My voice is fucked again. I don't know whether this is this long COVID thing or something, but now the big question everyone's asking is this the bottom? I'm gonna try and answer that in a little bit. First, I want to just drop down to the hourly chart and see what's up. We lost the monthly here and a weekly block down here. So, in my opinion, from a high time frame perspective, that is now resistance. And if we look at what we have down here, on Twitter, I said I was expecting this to, from here on out, to be quite orderly, and that's exactly what happened. What we can see is that there's a bunch of market makers, generally less active or not active in the market, or not as active in the market, that started to make this market. And I guess it makes sense when you kind of expect, after the whole Luna debacle, that much Bitcoin to hit the markets, in a very quick, short amount of time. So that leads me to a couple of assumptions / beliefs that there's a bit of a unbalanced book from at market makers. They kind of stepped in to keep the market from selling off too low. Potentially, as a reason is to make sure they don't hit too much losses from whatever is happening here. A lot of them had exposure to Luna or to UST, and obviously exposure to the rest of the market as well. So there's not just market makers, but just funds in general. So the question is, are they going to balance their books, or do they think that the bottom is in? And I don't think they're going to take the risk of counting on the market to go up too high without balancing their books. So there's quite a bit of resistance here around the 31 to 33 area. So the hourly to me, kind of looks as if this wick down here and this wick down here are two levels that will get visited. And at the same time, I do think that we also have to see one more punch to the upside. So we have the level up here, 31.8, maybe slightly higher. But there's a lot of resistance in the region here. And then we have the 2021 low. I think we're going to retest it. There's two things. Kind of got this trend line here, which is kind of support. We have this up here, kind of a deviation that brought us down. Personally, I wouldn't be surprised to see this come down here and then up there, or we're gonna go the other way around. But there's two setups here. One to the long side, one to the short side. That make a lot of sense. I don't think market will go higher than this. It could, but for now, I think there's just a lot of resistance from people having to rebalance their books. So that's the story on Bitcoin. Oh yeah, and I wanted to talk about where, just remove all that. I wanted to talk about, if this is resistance and we see further continuation to the downside. There's one thing. So generally, price is going to be attracted to these levels that kind of left gaps where not a lot of volume was traded. So we've pointed those out in previous videos with these orange boxes. So this one has been tapped. So the next one is sitting around here. That would be a logical target, which kind of seems far down from here. But honestly, there's been a lot of momentum here, and if this is resistance, if 30k-ish becomes like big level to regain, 30, 33, wouldn't be surprised to come down here. Could even be as low as 17, 18 before we see a proper bounce. I don't think there's going to be a big rush to the downside. I think it's going to stay orderly. If we just bleed down here over the next couple of weeks, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like a short squeeze eventually. So, it starts to range and then slowly come down, blah, 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 blah. And just see like this in a fraction of the time it took us to come down. So that's kind of where my thoughts are for the next couple of weeks into June, mid of June, and then see a proper squeeze up, which I'm not really sure if it's going to be the bottom, but we don't have to. We don't really have to speculate on that yet. So that's that. The other thing that we have been looking at is ETH. Been talking about this for ages, that this was eventually going to sell off. So we're right back at our trend line here. Honestly think this is FUBA, fuck beyond recognition. So I think this is going to go lower. Just a little bit of support here, but I think this is still going to go into the monthly. So no positions closed for me. Still short on this one. So the other thing we talked about was the S&P 500. We talked about specifically this region to be of importance. So I kind of feel that this is becoming a bearish retest. So maybe we can get back up here, but I think that this is going to range for a little bit and then eventually sell off into the next level down here. I mean, there's not much bullish going on for the S&P 500. QT is going to start in in like 2 weeks. I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but it would make a lot of sense that we're finally gonna see some fear in equities. Maybe maybe we can manage to come as low as the pre-COVID crash high down here. As QT is starting, or maybe front run QT a little bit, and then once that narrative is going to capture the market, we're probably going to rally into that negative sentiment, and people will be like questioning like, why can this rally? Because they're finally threw in the towel, and they're going to be repeating how the Fed is bearish, yada yada yada, and how it cannot go up with QT, etc., etc. So generally, we're just going to counter that liquidity of people exiting, and then everyone's going to foam it back into a bear rally. So, I mean, yeah, that would make a lot of sense. I don't know if this is our target or this is going to become our target, and then by the mid of June, see a reaction, and go and retest 4,000 level, which is going to be important, I think. Maybe slightly higher, but that's that would be a great rally, bear market rally. So let's say we get a 0.5 or 0.618 rally, price gets down here. That means we come and retest the region here and here. So I think this is a very logical area to target for the next 4 weeks, and then run it back up. I think by that time, everyone's gonna be royally fucked anyways. Talked about the dollar. Dollar still going higher. I don't think that's gonna slow down in the next couple of weeks. Probably gonna hold up. Maybe when the equity market bottoms, like for a local bottom into a bear market rally, this might start to see some issues. But honestly, this could start rallying to 108, 110 over the next couple of weeks, which sounds a lot, but there's a lot of momentum in the dollar. What else? Oh yeah, so gold. Bam. Talked about that last week. Hit a target. So great stuff here. I do still think eventually it's going to go here, but there should be some kind of support. It's quite a large area of entries here, so this is going to take some rebalancing. If this breaks through a lot quicker, that just means that everything else has to be super weak as well. So I expect some kind of ranging here, just as much as I do expect that the S&P 500 is going to be ranging for at least this week into next week. Oil's up. Talked about that. Euro looks shit. Man, I'm sorry. My energy is so low. I don't know what it is. So I hope I managed to somehow keep you guys engaged. But I feel like I need to record this, and I cannot wait until my gets higher. Yeah, I think that's kind of everything I wanted to talk about there. Oh yeah, and just don't sell your USDT for a discount of 8% or whatever you guys did last week. It's ridiculously stupid because they actually have real assets backing them, not unlike Luna. So if you have any questions on that subject, feel free to put them on Twitter and I'll try to respond. But USDT is actually backed with treasuries and other kinds of stuff, and they they survived all this time, even when being targeted by regulators and shit. So my trust in USDT is stronger than any other stablecoin, but that's just my opinion, my 2 cents. Man, I think, oh yeah, so Syscoin, not really doing its thing. This just doesn't look like the scenario I was hoping for. If this would have happened, closed back inside this kind of wedgie structure, that would have been a nice place to long. Now it just looks, I don't know, doesn't look great, and I'm not in the mood to go knife catching on these olds. Like, I do think talking about Syscoin, they've survived several bear markets now, and they've always bounced back. They're still alive, and if you consider their full history, they're still here. So there might be some merit to actually getting long on this in the long run. After the bear market, this could you know, maybe perform really well, but unfortunately here market turned bearish on us, and kind of shitty. And this one, you know, talked about Cabin Network, kind of shows how shitty the market has been. You know, this was the obvious short, but then, you know, you would have expected some kind of reaction here that didn't even happen. Just nuked through it. So I think this is going to run the lows at least, potentially even worse. It just sounds like, you know, the old market is in a big problem, big rut, and you know, same applies for ETH. I think ETH is gonna, you know, first order of business is the monthly here, but eventually I do think, you know, that's gonna run much deeper into the level here for starters. Kind of sounds stupid, but that's just the place we're in. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just too bearish. Yada yada yada. I think this market isn't done selling off. So, you know, do with that what you want. I hope, you know, find some value in my videos lately. You know, once again, thank you Prime XBT for sponsoring, and I'm gonna catch you later this week. Peace.